Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome you to tonight's class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Welcome you once again to the Madrasatul Mumti'az online Nahw and Sarf class. And inshallah we're starting with our Nahw today, and we are going on to lesson 51, and the topic for today inshallah is Al-I'rab al-Mahalli. Al-I'rab al-Mahalli, which we loosely translated into Territorial Grammatical Analysis. So for the past few lessons we have been learning about Al-I'rab, which is the grammatical analysis of a jumla, that is an Arabic sentence. How do we explain the grammar that is occurring in that sentence? And we've talked about al-i'rab wal-bina'u, which is the declension and the non-declension of Arabic words. So we've talked about the declension, which is al-i'rab. That is when a word changes based on its function. That is when the last hierarchy on a word or changes based on its function in the sentence. We say that the hal changes, and when the hal of something changes, we say that that word is mu'rab. And on the other hand, we have al-bina'u, which is non-declension. That is, the word does not decline based on its function in the sentence. It continues to maintain the same state, and such a word we say that it is mabniyu. And we have also gone further to explain the different ahwal that we can find for something that is i'rab, which means that it can be rafu', it can be nasbu, it can be jagu, or it can be in a state of jazmu. On the other hand, if something is non-declined, which is it is mabniyu, it can be mabniyu ala al-fathi if it has fatha, or mabniyu ala al-kasri if it has kasra, mabniyu ala dummi if it has dumma, or mabniyu ala sukun if it has sukun. Why am I going back to this explanation? Because this explanation is very vital to what we are going to be talking about in this topic, which is al-i'rab al-mahalli. So what is al-i'rab al-mahalli talking about? If you can remember that at the beginning when we first started talking about mu'rab and mabni, we taught us a song that identified what kind of words are usually mabniyu and what kinds of words are usually mu'rab. And we mentioned that al-asma'u wal mudari'u kilahuma mu'rabun. Al-asma, which is the ismu, and the mudari', they are usually mu'rab. However, there are some cases, we have some exceptions whereby our asma'u or our mudari' where they are actually mabniyun, that is, they are non-declined, they don't change no matter the function that they perform in the sentence. So we have looked at those particular situations. So now we are now saying, how do we do the i'rab of such words that are actually mabniyu even though they are in a place of mu'rab? And that is why we are talking about territorial grammatical analysis, which is when something that is mabniyu is staying in the territory of something that is mu'rab. What does this mean? So we are going to look at this in detail inshallah tonight. So let's go down straight to the qaida. They said إذا وقعت كلمة مبنية في موضع من مواضع الرفع أو النصب أو الجر أو الجزم. If a word that is mabniyu, a non-declined word, occurs في موضع من مواضع, it occurs in one of the positions of al-raf'i. If you can remember, as I stated at the beginning of this lesson, that raf'u applies to something that is mu'rab, not something that is mabniyu. But now I have something that is mabniyu applying in a state of occurring in a position of something that is usually raf'u aw nasbu or nasbu, aw jarri, or in a state or in a place where something that is majrur supposed to stay, or aw jazmi, in a place where something that is majzum is supposed to stay. La yataghayyaru akhiruha. If the last word does not change, it is not going to have, the last letter does not, the last haraka does not change to dhamma because of that position where it is staying. The last letter does not change to fatha because of that position where it is staying. It does not change to kasra because of that position where it is staying. But it is staying in a position where something that is raf'un is supposed to stay, even though it is mabniyu and the end does not change. So what do we say? Wa yuqalu innaha fi mahalli raf'in. So we say, instead of saying that this thing is marfu'un, because we have already known that it is mabniyu, we now instead we say that it is in mahalli raf'in. It is in the territory of something that is raf'un. It is in place of something that is raf'un. Aw nasbi, or we say what? Fi mahalli nasbi. It is in a place of something that is nasbu. It's standing in place of something that is nasbu. Or what? Aw jarrin, or is standing in the place of something that is jar. Aw jazmi, it is standing in place of jazm. Ala hasabi mawdi'iha fil jumla, based on the position where it actually occurs in the jumla. So not what we are talking about. It is not, these words are not mu'rab, they are actually mabniyu. However, they are staying in a position of something that is mu'rab, either in a position of something that is raf'u or nasbu or jarru or jazmu. So what we are talking about, we see it in these examples. Let's look at our first example. Anta rajulun muhadhab. If you can remember our mubtada'un wa khabar, we'll talk about that. What we have, something that is mu'arraf as the mubtada and something that is nakra as the khabar. In this case, we have rajulun as our khabar, and we have what? Anta starting this word. You are a civilized man. That's the meaning of the sentence. Anta rajulun muhadhab. You are a civilized man. Our anta in this case is standing in the place of a mubtada, and something that is mubtada is supposed to be marfu'un. So it is supposed to take a dhamma. But because this word is mabniyun, it is just standing in a place of raf'un, but it is not actually marfu'un. So how do we do the i'rab of this sentence? We say that anta, we know it is a domir al-munfasil, a disconnected domir, a disconnected pronoun. So we say anta, and we want to do the i'rab, we say domirun munfasilun mabniyun ala al-fathi, because we can see that the last letter is what? Fatha. Whether it is, no matter where it is in the sentence, it remains fatha. So ad-domirul munfasil mabniyun ala al-fathi. Then how do we complete our i'rab? How do we show the function it is performing in that sentence? We say it is fi mahalli raf'il mubtada. So you can see that in this our bahth, it is explained here that walam tuzhar alayha dumma, we can see that a dumma is not shown on top of this anta because it is mabniyu. So if it was something that was mu'rab, for example, if we had Mubarakun rajulun muhadhab, we wanted to say Mubarak is a civilized man, then it would have been, Mubarak could have taken a dhamma to show that it is raf'un. But because it is not mu'rab, so it is what? It is staying in the position of something that is mu'rab. So walidhalika yuqalu fi i'rabiha innaha mabniyatun ala al-fathi fi mahalli raf'in, like I just said. So we are going to say it is mabniyu ala al-fathi in fi mahalli raf'in, so in the position of what? Of raf'in. So and we can just go further to explain that raf'il mubtada, because that place is supposed to be taken by something that is mubtada and being marfu'un, but it is taken by something that is mabniyu. So we say it is fi mahalli raf'il mubtada. It is standing in the place of raf'un of mubtada. So same goes for these other examples. So they are also standing in the place of something that is mu'rab, however they are mabniyu. So let's look at the second one we have here. Sa'adtu ha'ula'il masakin. I helped these poor people, these masakin, these these needy people. So we have haula'i in a position, so our fi'l is sa'adtu, and our haula'i is standing in the place of the person that was actually helped. So in this case, our haula'i, it is an ismun mabniyun, because it's an ismul ishara and it's mabniyun. However, it is standing as if it is the person that the action was performed upon. So hence we can say that it is fi mahalli nasbi, because it is staying in the position of maf'ulun bi, and maf'ulun bi is usually nasbu. So fi mahalli nasbi maf'ulin bi. So that is what so that is how we are going to do the i'rab of this haula'i. Why? It is an ismun mabniyun. However, it is standing in the position of something that is in the position of nasbu, in the position of something that is mansub. So we do the i'rab and explain that what it is haula'i. So let's look at how it is explained here. That what ويقال في إعرابها إنها مبنية على الكسر. So we say it is مبني على الكسر في محل نصب, like we said. So it is في محل نصب المبتدا. So you can see that here, not في محل نصب مفعول به, sorry, it is في محل نصب مفعول به. So that is how we are going to explain haula'i. So similarly, we have seen a position where we have an ismun mabniyun and it is in a position of something that is raf'un, like anta in this case, and we have another ismun mabniyun that is standing in position of something that is nasbu, and that is in the case of haula'i. So let's look at the next example. We have عطفت على هذا المريض. عطفت على هذا المريض. I cared for this, I felt pity for this sick person, for this sick person. So normally we know that when an ismu comes after an harfu jarri, that ismu is going to take a kasra, it is going to be majrurun. However, hadha in this case, because it is an ismun mabniyun, it cannot take kasra. However, it is standing in the position where something that is supposed to take kasra should stand. So we are going to do an i'rabul mahalli for it, because it is standing in the territory of something else, even though it is mabniyun. So what do we say during the i'rab? We say that what? We say that innaha mabniyatun ala sukun. So you can see where I'm highlighting. We say that innaha mabniyatun ala sukun, that it is mabniyun upon sukun, because we can see that there is an alif at the end that does not have an haraka, so it is mabniyu ala sukun, but it is standing in a position of jarri because there is something before it that is taking, that is, because there is a harf jarri that is standing before it. So what are we going to say? We say that it is ismul ishara mabniyun ala sukun fi mahalli jarri. So fi mahalli jarri, because it is in a position of something that is supposed to be majrur. So and finally we have la tashrabanna al-ma'a al-kadiro. La tashrabanna al-ma'a al-kadiro. Do not drink, but with an emphasis, that's a nun tawkid. Do not drink dirty water. So, and that is the last one here. La tashrabanna. So, like we explained in the last lesson, if you can remember that our last lesson we talked about fi'lul mudari' that is mabniyyu. We know that on a normal day, fi'lul mudari' is supposed to be mu'rab, it's supposed to be declinable. However, in some cases it can be non-declinable, which is it can be mabniyyu. And one of those cases is when we have a nunu tawkid afekila coming after it, and that is the case in this example. So we say la tashrabanna, because we have an harful because we have a nunu tawkid coming after it, it has become a mabniyyu. However, we can see that it is standing in a place, it's coming after a la nahiya, And if we can remember our jazm al-fa'il al-mudari', one of the jawazim, one of those things that make a fi'l mudari' to have jazm is la nahiya, la an-nahiya, and that is what we have here, la tashrubanna. So this tashrubanna, it is a fi'lun mabniyun, but it is standing in the place of something that is jazmu. It is fi mahalli jazmi. So that is how we talk about i'rabul mahalli. So in a summary, al-i'rabul mahalli occurs when we have something that is mabniyu, maybe which can be an ismu or a fi'l al-mudari' that are standing in a place where something that is mu'rab is supposed to stand. So we say they are taking the territory of that mu'rab item. So after we do the mabniyu, explaining that this item, this word is mabniyu ala al-fathi, or maybe ala al-kasri, or ala al-dummi. So we have to explain that however this word is standing in a place of raf'un. It is standing fi mahalli raf'in. For example, as anta is standing fi mahalli raf'in, or ha'ula'i is standing fi mahalli nasbi, or hadha is standing fi mahalli jarri, or tashrabanna in this case we is standing fi mahalli jazmi. So those are the different states where we can find i'rabul mahalli. So i'rabul mahalli once again occurs when we have something that is mabniyu standing in a place of something that is more standing in a place of i'rab. So we can also practice with this further example. So if we go to the this page 38 of our text, so you can look at a'rib al-jumal al-atiya. So you can do an i'rabul mahalli for these mabniyu words that are here, hadhihi, tahtakirunna, or alladhi. So these are all ismu mabniyun. These are all mabniyu, but they are standing in a place of i'rab. So kindly let us know how well you understand this topic by doing the i'rab of this jumla on the Telegram group, and our and the asatiza will be there inshallah to grade your work or correct you inshallah. So at this point we have come to the end of today's lesson on al-i'rabul mahalli. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes this a beneficial lesson for both the teacher and for the listeners. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.